Hi, in this video I'm going to draw a gingerbread man and I'm going to be describing what I do at the same time I do it, so this may take a little bit, but let's do it. Let's start by closing the JavaScript tab. I don't need it for this, and I always like to set up a div that is going to be the container of the drawing, and I normally give it the class of canvas, like a painting canvas. And what I do is that I set a width of 80 min and an aspect ratio of 1, and then I put a background color that is a semi-transparent red. That way it's visible. Now I center it within the screen by doing a position absolute, top 50%, left 50%, and then I transform and translate it minus 50%, so it goes exactly in the center of the page. This is a way of centering with CSS. It's an interesting way. There are many others with flex or grid. I like this one for drawing because we set the position to absolute, and that facilitates later the drawing because all the elements within the canvas are going to have also a position absolute. And because the canvas in itself has a position, then it's going to be absolute within the parent. So let's say position absolute, display block. This is not really needed, but and box sizing, border box. And then not only we're going to apply to the canvas div, that means the divs inside the canvas, but also to the pseudo elements before and after. We don't put content with an empty value because if we did that, then all the elements will have before and after, and we don't want that. We want only certain of them and maybe none, so we'll check that. And now that we have the state set up, one thing that I like to do also a lot is set up a gradient that is going to be background. And let me put it here. It's going to be, I'm going to create a grid, so it's easier to guide where the elements need to go. So for example, if I do a linear gradient, a repeating linear gradient that goes let's say 0.04 to 0.25%, 0 here please, then transparent from there to 9.75%, and then again the 0. You see we have a grid here, and oh sorry, not 0, until 10%. Okay, that may be too thick, so let's make it a little bit smaller. So this would be 875. Yeah, that's a little bit better. And what we're going to do is that we're going to copy the gradient itself, the value, and we're going to put it in a variable. So we can apply it to the repeating linear gradient vertically, and it's going to be the same one. Sorry about that. Not this. What I wanted to paste was this, but to the right. So we have it vertical and horizontal both. And now we have a grid there. I can remove the background color that is reddish. So each of these squares is 10%. There are 10. And this will help me position the elements, because now I know that if I want to place something here, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 30% to the left and 0% top. And if I want it here, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4 from the top and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from the left. So it would be 50% left, 40% top. Okay, we have set up the canvas. So now let's start creating the base of the drawing. In this case, it's going to be a rough approximation, and later we're going to make it smoother and nicer. So let's say a gingerbread man is basically, it has 4 parts or 5 parts. It has a head, it has 2 arms and 2 legs. And then it has decoration on top, but the shape in itself, it's only the head, 2 arms and 2 legs, and maybe we can add like a scarf or something, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So let's start putting a div class head, and let's start working on that. So the head in particular, and I don't know why this went away. Let me see what's going on. Let's see if we continue with 30% and a height of 20%, and let's put a background for now that is semi-transparent red, and we save. And for some reason is not displaying the color correctly on CodePen. Let me refresh the page really quick. And after refreshing, yeah, you see, now we can see the element. I don't know what happened. It's probably a glitch in the system. Chris, please fix it. This may be too small for the head. I want to do a gingerbread man that looks like cute, like kawaii style. So let's make a big head. Let's say 50% by 30, maybe 35. That may be too much. We'll see. And what we're going to do is border radius, and we're going to make it not exactly circular but almost. So let's see how this goes. Let's put here 100%, 100%, 90, 90. Maybe a little bit flatter at the bottom, so 60, 60. Maybe that's too flat. 80, 80. So you see there's a lot of trial and error here. But yeah, so we have our head right now, and it's on the left side. We want to center it, so we're going to say left 50%, and then we're going to translate x minus 50%. And that way the left, oh, that's interesting. Why didn't this work? If should have a position of absolute, has a left of 50%, a top of 0. So the left is not being applied. Let's see why. So I'm going to inspect the element, and I can see that is not applying the position absolute, and that is position absolute is not applying this style. Interesting. Position absolute. Did I type this incorrectly? Dot canvas div. That seems right. So we save. Let me see what I did wrong. So I forgot a comma here. I don't know if that should make a change. Oh, that made the difference. That's interesting because we have the dot canvas div and a comma, and then we have this. Maybe because this is not a valid selector, then it breaks the whole thing. That's good to know. But yeah, so we have the head already, and let's make it a little bit. So I don't like that this is like a straight line there and there. So we have the head. Now we're going to do the arms. For the arms, I think that we can use only one element. And let's see. Arms, we want to go, let's say, from here to here. So that's an 80% width and a 20% height. So let's say top is going to be around 30%, and left, we're going to put it 50% in case that we need to change it later. And we're going to apply the same thing as transform translate. And we're going to say the width is 80%, the height is 20%, and the background, we're going to put it by now another semi-transparent red. There we have it. Now we want to make this a little bit more circular, so we're going to apply a border radius. Radius of 100%, and then I don't know. No, 100%. Do I want 100% or do I want 50 there? No, yeah, I want them the other way around. 50, 100, but then it's going to be just maybe 50, no, 40. Okay, that's a little bit better. Maybe I want it a little bit lower to 35. That's too low, 32. Better. I mean, gingerbread men normally don't have necks. One thing that I did is that instead of doing a left of 10, I did a left of 50%, and then I translated 50%, like I put it here and then I translated a little bit in case I wanted to change the width, which, funny thing, is the case. I don't think these arms are long enough, so I'm going to make them a little bit longer, 88%. And because I put them in the center and then move them, it's always going to be positioned correctly. If I had put 10%, every time I change the width, I would need to change the left too, and that would have been a small pain in the neck. So let's see if we can fix this a little. 30%, that looks a little bit better. So it's not so perfect. Let's try, be careful with the slashes. Yeah, so you see right now it's not a circle, it's a little bit more of a circle here, and then deeper curve here. And now we need the body and the legs, but many times what happens with a gingerbread man is that the legs make up the body. So let's add 2 legs, or let's add a leg for now, a leg, and let's tile it. So the leg is going to be more or less also at 20. We made this 20% height and a width of 88. This one is going to be a width of 20 and a height of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 6. So let's say width is 20 and a height of 60%. And we're going to put a background, again, some semi-transparent red for now. This is just to keep the place. I think legs need to be a little bit thicker. 25, okay. Now we're going to make it a little bit curve at the bottom and make the curve bigger here. So let's see, border radius, let's apply a big one here on top, 120%. The one here, I don't think I care, so I'm going to just put a 0, and here 90%. I don't like that this is not fully square. What happens if I do 100% here? Yeah, I like this a little bit better. So what we're going to do is that we're going to put it in this place, and then we're going to, not exactly in the center, a little bit to the left, and then we're going to rotate it clockwise a little bit, maybe 15 degrees or a little bit more, depending. So let's make it transform, rotate 15 degrees. But then we want it to be, let's put it top. I would say top would be 40%. Let's see how that goes. 40%. Okay, and now, yeah, now the 15% looks too much, but we'll see. And left, I could do again 50% and translate here. Minus 100%. Let's see how that looks. Yeah. We'll see. Oh, that is an option. And what we're going to do is that we add a second leg. And right now it's on top of the first one. So what we're going to do is leg plus leg. So that means the leg that is right the next sibling of a leg. So it's going to select this one. And for that one, what we're going to do is that we're going to scale x minus 1, and this is going to flip the element. And now instead of translate minus 100, I may want to do translate 100 or even less, 50. Yeah, in this case, I may not even want to translate at all. Yeah, you see, I don't even need to translate. Good. So let me remove that. No need for translation. I just rotate. And this would be more or less the shape of our cute gingerbread man. We are going to start applying a little bit of color to see how it would look like. So in the canvas, we're going to say we're going to move all the variables on top. I like having all the variables on top. It's convenient and it's easier to find. So we're going to say the dough is going to be, let's try D96 maybe. And we're going to say that this is var dough. Let's see how it looks. Yeah, this could be the color of a gingerbread man, maybe a little bit lighter. E96. Let's leave it D for now. It's going to be a toasted gingerbread man. But we can apply that same variable to the arms, to the legs. And the good thing is that if we want to change the color to something lighter, we can do it easy a little bit later. There's no problem. That's because we're using a variable and we're passing it through all the time. Now we have the shape of our gingerbread man. We want to add some decoration. And I mentioned that I wanted to do it kawaii style, like a cutesy type of thing. So let's start by adding big eyes, class eye. We want to add 2 big eyes that have a shiny part, and the color, the background of the eyes is going to be maybe, instead of being black, it's going to be a darker brown. So let's start putting here the eye. We want it to be a circle, but the head is not exactly a circle, which is a problem. What we can do is reverse what is width and height. So it would be width 50% and width height 50% and width 35. So we are reversing, and let's put black for now, but it's not going to be black. You see, that way we get a square because the head is 50 by 35. If we reverse the size, then we get a square. If we reverse the size for the eye, we use the width as the height. So let's divide this by 217.5. If my math doesn't fail me, that may be a good size actually. And we want to say border radius of 50%, so it's a circle. Now that we have the circle, that's going to be our eye. Let's put a different colors. That is going to be the line in itself. Let's make it, 963 maybe. That's a darker brown. So let's put bar line. We're going to use that. Oh, I did something wrong. I forgot the hash in front of the color. That may not be dark enough. So let's see 8. That's not dark enough. 642. That may be better. Okay. So now that we have the eye there, let's place it within the head. It's going to be a little bit lower than half the head. So let's say 55%. That may be too low. So 50. Okay. And now we want to say left 25%. That may be okay, actually. Perfect. And we're going to apply a second eye that we're going to select it the same way as before. Eye class eye. That means the eye that is like the following sibling of another eye. We're going to say left auto and right 25%. That way, the distance from the left to the left eye is the same distance from the right to the right eye. And to keep it the same, maybe what we can say is distance 25%. And then here we say var distance. So that way, they're going to be the same distance all the time. And if we want to change it and say, hey, instead of being 25% from here, it's going to be only 22, Now it automatically updates both eyes, which is really convenient. Another thing that we want to do for it, and I still think it may be a little bit light, let's make it 3-1, 5-3-1, a little bit better that way, yes. So we need to add some shine. So to do that, we use the background color for the eye, and we use a background image. So for the background image, we're going to use a radial gradient that is going to be a circle at probably 25-25, and it's going to be white, that is FFF, and maybe 15%, and from there is going to be transparent. And that may be too big, or yeah, it may be too big, so let's make it a little bit smaller. Let's put it a little bit lower and to the left, so 30-30. Now I think it may be not. Oh, okay, that's a little bit better. And we're going to put another, I don't fully like it, let's put it 40. This is me just playing with the numbers a little bit until I find something that I like. Let's make it a little bit bigger, and then we can apply another reflection. That this time let's make it 30-30, and let's make it half of that size, 6 more or less. So now 25, 22, 32, and a little bit higher. Oh goodness, and even higher. So yeah, so now we have the eyes with the reflection. That may be too much, still 34. Yeah, that's a little bit better. And let's put the smiley face in the middle. So let's add div class mouth, and let's put a mouth that is going to have the background is going to be the same as the line. It's going to be a width of, let's put for now 20%, I don't know if that's enough, and a height of, so this was 50, let's put 25% here, and the height of, so let's do the same thing as with the eye. And now we're going to say top 55%, left 50%, and then we're going to do transform, translate X minus 50%, so we center it within the face. So that mouth is too big already. Let's make it a little bit smaller, 20. Now it's also really high, so let's move it down to 60. That looks a little bit better, still too big, but we're going to play with the values. Let's make it a smile, because right now it's a square, so border radius, let's give it 60%, and then 20, 20, 100, and 100. Let's see if that works. Yeah, that actually doesn't look that bad. Let's make it a little bit smaller, 16, and the height also a little bit smaller, maybe 13. Okay, and let's bring in a little bit down also, 65, 68, that's better. And now that we have the eyes and the mouth, let's add a small tongue. We can do it by adding a new element, or we can do in the mouth itself, the same way that we did the reflection in the eyes. We can add the tongue. So let's see where's the background is here. So we're going to say background color here, and then the background, we're going to add another radial gradient that is going to be at 50% because we want it in the middle horizontally, and 80% because we want it a little bit lower within the mouth. And we're going to say for now red 50%, and then transparent. Let's see how that looks. Too big. That's okay. Let's say 100% and 20% here. So we make it too small now. 80-30. That starts looking a little bit better. Still is too big for what I want. Oh, that looks a little bit better. Actually, I like how it's starting to look. Perfect. I don't like the red, so let's try to let's see. So D00 is still a red, but if we add 55 here, now it's pinkish, maybe 88, and a little bit brighter in the red. Yes, I like this pink. So let's add it actually again. Var pink, and let's say pink is E88. So now we have here our head that has the big eyes and a big mouth, a smiley mouth, and we have the gingerbread man basically done. Actually, what we can start doing is adding some decoration and maybe some shades and some shadows. Let's see. Where can I do that? Actually, even before doing that, let's try to add a border around the gingerbread man. So let's say filter, and let's try to add a shadow clockwise. So let's say drop shadow, and I'm sorry, I'm getting a phone call. I need to stop the video recording for a second. Sorry about that interruption. Let's keep where we were. So I'm going to add shadows clockwise. So let's try a 0 -1. We mean, sorry, no, without the comma. And instead of doing it, oh, now it's going to look funky because of this. Let's remove it. We don't need those guidelines anymore. So let's use 0.5 for now, and we're going to add the color. It's going to be the bar line. That way the color, instead of being black, is going to be the same brown as this. And let's try to make it, it's going to be 8. So the next one would be 0.5, it means here. Okay. Now it would be 0 here. Now 0, 0, 0.5, 0.5. Yeah, I want to have like a border around the whole thing. Now it's going to be 0, 0, 5, oops, 0. And we don't need the unit when it's 0, so I'm going to remove it. And now it's -0 and 0, -0, and here another 0. Let's see. And I'm missing one. Yeah, I'm missing this direction. So I need to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect. Minus. Yeah, although that looks a little bit too much. So let's just add a little bit of this. Yeah. And now you see, we can see that this straight line, I'm not a big fan of that. So let's make the head a little bit more rounder. 90. I still can see it in the shadow. I don't want to do 100%, but I will be forced to put 100%. So what I can do is make this a little bit more. Yeah, okay, now we don't get that, or we don't get it as much. I can still see it here and here, but we have our border or a crust around our gingerbread man. And let's continue decorating. So another decoration that we can do, or the first decoration that we can do, for example, is put in some gumdrops, and let's put it here. Div class gumdrop, and a gumdrop is going to be a circle, a color circle that again, let's see, gumdrop. We're going to say what can we say? So it's going to be the width. Let's put an 8%, height 8%, and a background. For now, let's put green. It's not going to stay green, but at least it's visible. Border radius 50%, and it's going to go top 50%, left 50%, transform, translate. Let's remove both. So now let's put it a little bit bottom. That's too much bottom. Okay, so maybe not, who knows. 57. Yeah, because I want to have a second gun drop here. Also, I may not want to have it like a perfect circle. Normally, let's leave the circle for the eyes and the rest of the things can be imperfect. So let's put 90%, 45%, 80%. That doesn't look that great. Let's put 100% here and 190. So you see now it's not exactly a circle, but I like it a little bit better. Then we can add a border of 1vmin solid var line. So you see we have our gun drop with the line, and we're going to make it a little bit bigger because we have the box sizing border box. Then the border counts toward the width and the height, and it didn't look that great. Finally, what we're going to say is when we have two gun drops, one after the other, the second one is going to be a little bit higher, 47 instead of 57, and the color for now background, let's put red and a 45 here, and then let's rotate it, transform, rotate 60 degrees, just so. Oh, what did I do wrong? Oh, the translate. I'm missing translate here. Yes, so that's so it's imperfect. It's not a circle, but it doesn't look exactly the same. So instead of 90, let's say 150 or something like that. Yeah, see, now they look different. And let's put it a little bit higher, 42%. And now what we can do is this gun drop, the first one is going to have again background color. Oops. Let's put here another background. It's going to have some reflection too. That again is going to be a radial gradient. There's going to be a circle at 30, 25. And instead of being white, we're going to make it semi-transparent white. So FFF, and then a number 7 for alpha. And let's put 5%, and it goes to fully transparent after that. So that's too small. So let's make it a little bit larger, 15. That's too big. I go either too big or too small. So let's move it just a little bit. Perfect. And we're going to do the same thing with the red one. We're going to apply a background, but because we rotated it, we will need to change. We will need to change the position. So instead of being here, we wanted to put it here probably. So it would be at 64, 75. Yeah, something like that. Maybe higher. So to put it higher, 74. No. Sorry, to put it higher, we need to put it a little bit lower here. 85 and 68. No. So I need to remove. Actually, that's interesting. 60, 58, and 82, 83. Okay, let's leave it like that. So what we're going to do now is change the color, but we can do it in a little bit. What other decoration we can add to our gingerbread man? Maybe we can add some lines here like that, the typical white lines with frosting, the arms and the legs. So let's try that now. Let's change the color of the gumdrops for red. Let's put orange instead. Let's see how that looks. Maybe too light, dark orange. A little bit better. No, And the green, I don't like the green. Let's use, is it sea green? I'm not a big fan of that color. Light sea green. Not a fan of that color either. Medium sea green. Oh, that looks a little bit better. So with that, maybe what we can do is add some of the frosting. So let's add some frosting here, and let's play a little bit with the eyes. I think that they may be a little bit far away. Let's try to put them a little bit closer and a little bit higher. So 47 maybe. Yeah, I think that looks a little bit better. Maybe 25. Yes, that leaves a little bit of space here for some of the the cheeks done with frosting. So let's do this. And actually the cheeks done with frosting, because they're going to be circles, what we can do is something like box shadow, and we're going to say -5 mean. -5 means 0. Sorry, I want it to be lower. And then we're going to make it white, although actually let's do one thing. Let's put the frosting here. Frosting, we're going to put F7, 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 so it's not exactly white, but close. So bar frosting. So this will allow us to change later. If we want to change the color of the frosting to red, for example, we would just need to do F0. So let's put EEE. Is it too dark? That could be okay, but F4, F6, F5, a little bit like yellowish. I mean, not yellowish, but with that yellowish tint. And let's go back here and let's make it a little bit smaller. And for this one, the box shadow is correct. And for the other one, let's put it instead of -5, 5. Like that, maybe a little bit smaller even. And then it can go a little bit higher. So 4 and 4. And it doesn't have to go that far away, so 4 and 4 here for that. That looks okay. Now let's add some frosting also in the arms. Maybe we can do a zigzag type of thing. So for that, we can do it with a linear gradient or several linear gradients. So let's see, where are we? So this is the legs, this is the arms. Okay, we have the background. Let's put background color, and let's put background repeat and no repeat, because we don't want it to repeat in itself. And let's put a background here that is going to be a linear gradient. Is going to be, let's say, 45 degrees. Transparent until 45%, then white until 55, and then transparent again. And it's going to be tiny, so let's say 10%, 30%, I don't know. Oh, sorry, that's the position. I always miss it. So 20, 10, and 10, 30. Let's see how that goes. That may be too much, but let's move it 10, 10. Yeah, and let's make it a little bit shorter, 10, 20. I kind of like that. So let's put a few of these. So now this, instead of being a 10, is going to be a 30. I didn't do this right. Oh, because it has a height of 20. So it's going to be 10, 30, 50. My bad. 50, hopefully that's okay. Let's try the next one. It should be 30 here. And instead of 45, what happens if I do minus 45? Okay, that's not perfect. Let's put it a little bit lower, 33. That looks a little bit better, and that has to bring us maybe 56 here, and one more. We're going to make it so if 56 is always 23, so it would be 79, and I'm missing a comma, and this one shouldn't have a comma. So see, now we have one arm, and maybe we can make it a little bit thicker. Let's put 59, 59, 59, 59 there. And now we need to move it a little bit more. So that's my bad. Let's say 12. That may be too much now. 11. Still too much. 10, 5. A better match. This one would be 10, 5, 2. Perfect. So that looks a little bit better. Let's put it a little bit lower. No, that's, oh yeah, that's the position. So 38, let's put it down 5%, all of them. Let's see how that looks. 5% would be 84. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. I don't fully like that. Let's see if we can put it a little bit higher. What happens? 14, 13. That looks a better match. And then the last one, let's put it a little bit lower. And a little bit lower. I like that. So we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to do on the other side. So we're going to copy these ones, and we're going to replace the angle so they are opposite. And instead of being a 10, it's going to be a 90. Instead of a 10, it's going to be 89.5. Instead of being, again, 90 and 89.5. So there we have the frosting for the hands. Maybe we can move it a little bit to the left, but for now we're going to leave it like that. So now we have the frosting for the arms, and we can add some frosting for the legs. And for that, we're going to do it a little bit different maybe. Instead of making it a straight line, let's try to make it like a curve. So let's go to the leg, and let's add the background color again here. And let's add the background repeat and no repeat. And what we're going to do is we're going to say background. We're going to use a radial gradient that is going to be transparent. It's going to be a circle. And it's going to be, let's see, transparent until 50%, let's say. Then it's going to be white until 60%, and then transparent again. Let's see how that ends up looking. Whoa, way too big. So let's say we want it to be 30% by 10%, and we want it to be towards the bottom. So 20%, 70%, who knows? Yeah, that's not what I wanted. So what I want is a circle at 0, no, 50, 0. That's what I want. That still doesn't look like what I want, to be honest. So let's see, what am I doing wrong here? It's too much. I see it now. 20, 30. Oh, I'm missing a 0 here. That's what I'm missing. Okay, still that's too much. So let's put 25 here. Okay, that looks a little bit better, but still not what I want. So let's put farthest side. That's definitely not what I wanted. Closest side. I lost them, probably because they're at the top. Oh, this needs to be 80. Oh, I keep messing up the position with the width, and that is a problem. Well, with the size, my bad. So I want to make it, and this cannot be closest side, it needs to be farthest side. because if I use a closest side and one of them is 0, then the size is going to be 0. So it doesn't make any sense. So let's use here 70. Let's see how it goes, or actually 60, from 40 to 60. Okay, perfect. The good thing about doing it like that is that now we can do 33.3. That's a little bit better. And let's put it here. And now we're going to use another one that is opposite of it. So instead of being at 0, it's going to be at 100. Okay, we're going to put it a little bit higher, so 70. And then we're going to move it 34. This is at 33%, so it's not a exact math here. Let's see how it goes. 45. This is going to be a little bit of trial and error, and I'm sorry for that. So that's what we have. Maybe I should make it a little bit larger, 40, and put it a little bit closer here. Okay, maybe even more, 10. So we can do this 40 again. And instead of, let's see how it goes. That's too much, 42, 43. Perfect, a little bit better. So now we have a small pattern. Let's put it a little bit lower. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, I like that a little bit better. And then 15 and 48, a little bit more center, 49. Okay, and finally we're going to copy the last one. And if this one is 15 to 49, that's like 34, so that's 83, maybe I did it wrong. Yeah, so 82, like that. So now we have here a gingerbread man with some decoration. Maybe we can add also like a small radial gradient here as another decoration. So let's see. Radial gradient is going to be a circle at 50, 90. It's going to be white, 5%, and then transparent from then. Let's see how that looks. And I did something wrong. It's circle, not circlet. And let's make it smaller, and let's put it higher. Let's even make it even smaller and even higher. Yeah, so we have our decoration. Maybe we could put 2 more there, but for now we are okay. We could do something similar here, but that's a way of doing linear gradients and radial gradients. And that is our gingerbread man. Maybe if we wanted, what we can do is, I don't like that it's too symmetrical. So what we can do is lower the leg a little bit. So if this is top 40, let's say the right leg is going to be top 42%. Maybe that's too much, but 41. So I don't like that. 41.5. So it's not exactly a symmetric thing. I don't like when they look the same thing on one side and the other. So okay, what other touches can we do? So it looks a little bit better. Maybe we can add some shade or some shadows. Let's see. So let's add a box shadow here to the head. Box shadow inset, and we're going to say 1 vmin minus 1 vmin and 0.003, 4. Actually from the top. And a little bit less than that, and let's add a little bit of red, maybe 2 red, 8002. Okay, maybe here we can do a 0. Yeah, like that. And we can apply something similar to the arms. Let's see, where's the arm? Did I pass it? Yes, the arm may pass it. Doesn't have a box shadow, so I can apply it directly. There is, and we can apply one more actually. And this one, let's see if we put -1. Yeah, that may work actually even better. I kind of like it like that. And we can do the same with the legs, but with the legs we have to be careful because the legs are on top of the arms and one leg is on top of the other. So if we add a shadow, that it could go up to here, so we need to be super careful with how we do the box shadow. So I'm going to add the same one that we have at the head, and you can see the problem. So we want to do it -1, so it comes from the top. And actually we may need to remove a little bit of that. So let's see how this looks. Let's add a little bit more of this. Too much of this. 1.5. Let's see. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. And now what we're going to do is that this one we're going to do opposite. So instead of having the shadow on the right side, we're going to add it to the left side. And that's when the fun is going to start, because we're going to have problems here, you see. So what we can say is that this one is going to have a c-index of 1, but then we have a problem with the gumdrops, c-index of 2, and this one has c-index of 1. And you see the shadows now look a little bit better. So what we can do is go to the gumdrops and add a c-index of 3. And that is our gingerbread man with some shadows, cute little eyes, a nice smile, some gumdrops, and some frosting decoration. I hope you liked the video. Thank you for watching.